Barnside Chat. We take your questions from the magic rainbow bag. Love lives here, so join us today for Heath's Barnside Chat. You can find us in Campbellville, Ontario. We have rescued chickens, pigs, and cows and goats. We've got plenty more farmed animals, big and small, all for love and love for all. Welcome to Heath's Barnside Chat. We take your questions from the magic rainbow bag. Love lives here, so join us today for Heath's Barnside Chat. Our mission is to inspire kindness and compassion for farmed animals everywhere. You can help us take action by volunteering or through donations, or visit our store and check out our website to learn more. Welcome to Heath's Barnside Chat. We take your questions from the magic rainbow bag. Love lives here, so join us today for Heath's Barnside Chat. Happily ever, Esther Farm Sanctuary.
Hello, friends. Hello, hello. Happy Monday.
Hello, everybody.
It is a cold, blustery day at Heath's. Let us know if you're from a warmer climate than Heath's today.
And when we can visit.
Yeah, absolutely. Ticket for two.
Cripes.
It is minus 100 here today at the farm.
He's lying.
Okay, maybe not minus 100, but it is definitely minus 90 anyways. It's very close. It's very windy and blustery. We thought we were had a good start for spring, but Mother Nature had this up her sleeve, and we're dealing with it. Stuff is frozen over again. The resident water heaters are all needing to be turned on. It's so cold. How cold is it? No, we're not going to get into dumb dad jokes today, but if you do have a dumb dad joke, put it below in the comment feed. We have a kind admin volunteer that will pluck out all the good ones and send them to me. Let us know where you're tuning in from. It's hard to see the screen today because it is very sunny out. We have Georgia. In Denver, it's almost 70. That's nice.
It's nice down in Georgia.
Chesterfield, UK, it's sunny today.
It's always nice in the UK.
Rainy Los Angeles from Christina. Colorado. If we visit, can we bring Esther? Well,
where?
I couldn't see where that was from, and it's gone already. It's so good to see everybody. If you have a question, a real one that you would like answered below about what we do here at Happily Ever Esther Farm Sanctuary, please put it in the comment feed below, and one of our kind admin volunteers who helps us out around the farm, and on the page here, she will take the questions and then she will forward them to the printer, the tiny little printer in the rainbow bag that Steve has slung over his shoulder so fashionably. Yeah, look at that. There it is right there. The questions really end up there. I forgot to introduce ourselves. I take a lot of liberties for granted here. If you're new to us, welcome to the page. Thank you so much for liking the page. This is Steve Jenkins, and my name's Derek Walter, and we're founders of Heath's, which stands for Happily Ever Esther Farm Sanctuary, the coldest place on earth today. So Steve's going to take a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sally wants to know, does Cornelius take dust baths like the other birds? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. In warmer weather, he doesn't have a winter dust bath.
Let's go closer because of the wind.
Yeah, in warmer weather he does. He doesn't have a winter dust bath, but in the summertime he definitely does. He will even dig himself a little nest in the grass, which I really appreciate, and he'll make himself a little dust bath. Usually in the middle of the lawn.
It's so true.
Yeah,
it is. These are all true.
Super convenient. Christina wants to know, how do you tell the peacocks apart?
Well, you just ask them their name. You say Jesus, and he goes, God!
Oh, God.
Yeah, they know their names, and they answer.
He comes walking
they
right across
come
the little duck
forward.
pond.
Yeah, you can tell Jesus because he can walk on water.
Yes,
Right?
yes, that's right. Yeah. But really, their feathers are different on their backs. Well, two of them have the same patterns. One of them has a different pattern on his back. And
Yep.
then of the other two, one of them happens to have a little leg band on from his previous home. So
Correct.
that's how we tell the peacocks apart. Aside from walking on water, of course. Kathy wants to know, how in the world do you dress Esther? I can barely get a leash on my 150-pound boy. Does Captain Dan get excited when he sees Esther? Esther seems to enjoy dress up for the most part. As you've just said, there is nothing that will convince a pig to do anything that they don't want to do. And that includes wearing wigs and sunglasses and putting on party dresses. So yeah, Esther is very much a willing participant in dress-up day. There are some days where she doesn't want anything to do with it. Like, you'll put a wig on her and she just shakes her head and kicks it off, and then that's how you know that she is not wanting to play dress-up that day, and so we don't. But for the most part, 99% of the time, she is more than happy to participate in dress-up day.
And as for the excitement to see Captain Dan, or is Captain Dan excited to see Esther? Well, yeah, when the Queen does go into the barn, there is a lot of excitement. People go, whoa, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? And it's just, you see the white divinity bum walking through the barn, and everybody comes to the, they come to genuflect and welcome the Queen into the barn. Interestingly enough, we will be taking Esther to the barn very soon.
Oh boy.
She's going to go in the Zinpro shoot
no.
lift. We need to get
so bad.
We need to get a closer look at her front foot and give it a shave down. And she's not letting me do it in the house, and she's been denying me for almost 2 weeks now. I'll go in and I'll do a little shave on it, and then she gets grumpy about it. So we're going to be marching her down to the barn very soon, and I'm sure I'll have a couple photos to share on that. She's not lame on the foot or anything. We just need to trim it.
Needs a trim.
We don't want her to be lame, so we have to do these things. You have another question?
Yeah. Would Captain Dan and Bobby Girl ever be able to live together? From Jenna Holmes.
It's an interesting question. We have talked about having a senior herd and dividing the herd because, some of the ladies in that herd, they're old and and Dan's getting old.
They're mature.
Dan's getting old, so we. There has been talk about it. There's no immediate plans to do it, but it is something that we consider all the time is, everybody's mental health and well-being. And as we get into...
She's just getting up. She heard you talking.
There's a reason that we separate George and Diablo, or that we put George and Diablo in their own sleeping quarters, and we don't leave them with the main herd of goats and sheep because they're boisterous, and the elders of that group don't want to be slammed, and they don't want to mess around. So, we will definitely consider that, because that would be an awesome thing. Mm-hmm. But it's not always easy to integrate pigs together and pull them away from herds and groups and social, the social structure. So we'll let you know as that, we'll always let you know what's happening here. This week across the farm, there's been lots of wonderful photos captured, and there's a couple of notables that we need to cover. Number one, it was April, George, Catherine, and William's rescue anniversary.
Sweet William. The late William.
Sweet William. Yeah, and there's Stephen with little George and April. So it was their rescue anniversary, and William has since passed away, but April then gave birth to a whole whack of pigs on April 1st.
He was the best goat ever, William.
Happy anniversary to that group who are living here, living their best life at Heath's. And there was also another rescue anniversary that we have to cover, and that is Cooper. It's Cooper's 4th rescue anniversary. Cooper came here on March 25th when he was about a year old. And Cooper is now living in Bunnytown and also in the old barn. There's a setup right now for the rabbits, and they go from the old barn to Bunnytown. So happy rescue anniversary to Cooper and April and Catherine and George. Thank you to the monthly donors that make sure that they have got the best life possible, that they have everything that they need. If you'd like to donate in other ways, you can go to Amazon and you can donate from our wish list.
Shop.
Yeah, we have an ongoing list of consumables that we put up there, and it does change from time to time. And so the admin, Christine, will put the link to the Amazon wish list below. Our needs are changing all the time. We got another question in the question bag?
We have 2 more questions. That's all we have.
No,
Does
I
Captain
have more
Dan get
questions.
excited when he sees Esther? Already did that one.
No, these ones.
That one was attached. Fuck, you don't have those, and why weren't they in the bag? I cannot do these questions that were not in the bag. And Kara Wilson would like to know, does Esther still do Piggy Go and run like the wind, and does Corno run after her when she does?
You go for this one.
On occasion, not as much as she used to, of course, as Derek said earlier. Our slightly more mature Esther is right now. So she's not running quite as much as she used to, but yes, she definitely does on occasion. There's mornings we'll look out and go to let the barn folks know that Esther's on her way for breakfast, and she has already sprinted herself to the barn. So yeah, it still does happen, just like I said, not as often as it used to. As for Corno, same. He's slowed down a little bit, but he definitely does, especially in warmer weather, like to follow people very rapidly up and down the path here. Seems to be his home base. It's been a while since he came on a full walk with us. Did he do one last year?
Oh,
I can't remember if he did or not.
I don't think
But
so.
yeah, it's been a little while
Esther
since
did
Corno
last
did.
year.
Oh yeah, Esther's done a few hikes.
Esther did a few last year.
Yeah, but yeah, Corno doesn't usually come on our walks anymore, but he does still very aggressively and actively patrol the area here between the house and the barn in the summer when there are people out and about that shouldn't be as close to our gate as they are. He takes that very seriously.
Yes, you need to beware
Yep.
all the time and
Yep.
have your running shoes on and your laces done up.
Yeah.
Because
And he picks up speed real fast when we have a visitor to the house.
Yeah.
As well. He likes to chase people around the house that are not supposed to be in there. Yes. And that's it for my question bag, except for the not approved questions.
the
in
not
Derek's hand.
approved questions. We have another social media channel that's over at Instagram. You can check it out. We post exclusive content over there. So if you have Instagram, head on over there and make sure you give us a like. Here's a cute little video that was captured in the barn. It was Bobby Girl just standing out gazing at the night. Sweet Bobby Girl. We did a segment on Bobby last week on Barnside Chat, but this was captured just after that. Bobby Girl living her best life. That's the lanai that she was looking out on. It's a padded, safe surface for her, and it keeps her foot nice and clean. And she has access to that most of the time. We are going to head on over and we're going to see the sheep and the goats. The sheep and the goats. There's great segments that are posted on Facebook. Did you know sheep have horizontally elongated pupils, which are often found in grazing animals? I was at a concert once and saw people with horizontally elongated pupils.
Oh, goodness me.
But they were to goat or a sheep. Have you got a question? Well, we can.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Once you get the new pig areas open this summer, will you try to reseed the big pig's main pasture?
Oh, that's a great question, actually. Today we just had, on Mondays we have manager meetings, and we just talked about the areas that will be reseeded and be closed to the residents for probably a month and a half, whilst maybe even 2 months, right?
Yeah.
While the grass seed and pasture seed is coming up. We use a pasture mix. It's about 10 different types of seeds that go in to the pasture mix. It's already a pre-mixed, a bag that we just buy from the local feed store, and it's of grasses and foliage and forage that is interesting for all of the residents to graze from. There was... Where is it? Aha. The newsletter. Please, everybody, please, part of our contingency planning is to make sure that we have a healthy subscriber list to our newsletter so that we can always stay in constant contact with you. And we promise we won't barrage you too much, and we promise absolutely that we will not sell your email address to anybody else, and you will stay up to date on all that is Heath's. And here's just a little snippet of the latest newsletter to go out. It's exclusive content, and They do such a fabulous job putting the newsletter together, and it looks so beautiful. And there's things that you might not have known about Heaths that
Was
we
it going
post
like once
in here.
a month, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Or
Yeah,
unless
so
there's
not super frequent.
unless there's something that's going on, like a fundraising campaign or an urgent need. And there's also silly stuff as well that gets put on there. The team is so creative at coming up with this stuff. And Kathy, thank you, Kathy, if you're listening. Kathy has a big hand in putting together the newsletter, and she's done such a wonderful job. So, yeah, stay tuned. Also, I don't know if you saw that. The final slide there was stay tuned for the auction that's coming up. Ooh! So if you were a newsletter subscriber, you saw that coming already. There is an auction coming in April. It's so cold.
Yeah,
out
it is very cold.
today. It's very cold. We should get out of the wind and we should
back
go
into the
see-
house.
You want to back into the house?
Yeah, it couldn't hurt. It's right there.
it is. It is right there. It is.
Looks a lot warmer in
blasting.
there.
It is so cold today. Well, you want to go see goats and sheep?
I mean, we could in a minute, but we could go in the house for a minute as well.
Go in the house for a minute, answer a few questions.
Yeah,
and
good idea.
All right, friends. Yeah, it is. It is. How cold is it? Did anybody put any dad jokes about how cold it is? It's so cold. Esther won't go outside and pee. Oh my goodness. So, all right, we're back inside the house to regain some warmth.
Yeah.
There we are.
All right. Question from Ian Porter is a good question. If pigs' tails are used for communication, do pigs with dock tails have more herd or hierarchy troubles than pigs with intact tails?
Good question.
Very good question.
I don't think there's hierarchy difficulties, but yeah, they would have different. You know, I believe that their tail, is still wagging a tiny bit. Yeah, the little nub would be wagging a little bit. So there would be a little bit of communication being able to be seen that way. But yeah, they definitely aren't able to communicate the same way. So
Yeah, great question.
yeah, great question, Ian.
Stephen Curtin, Teresa Andrews Curtin. So Stephen and Teresa. Is Bobby Girl's spine affected by her toe problem? That's another great question.
So there has to be some give and take when you remove a toe from a quadruped animal. The weight distribution is going to go to the opposite.
Probably more in the
front
hip,
shoulder, like the front shoulder. So if you remove the back right toe, then the front left shoulder is going to be affected. The loading, the way that they walk, it's all affected. It's all connected. So absolutely, there would be some spinal changes that that would happen as a result of removing a digit.
Yep.
Good question.
Tina wants to know, I've heard that you have to bury fences for pigs to keep them from digging under them. Is this true? And if so, how deep are your fences buried? Great question, Tina. We have not buried our fences, although I can understand why some people might, because they are incredibly hard on the fences. The pigs will push and challenge pretty much anything. So your fences, for one, have to be exceptionally strong, which we learned the hard way here. And what we've done to combat this problem is we actually have one single electric line on the inside, about a foot off the ground, and so that kind of keeps the pigs back off the fence so they don't challenge it. And I know some people will think that that's cruel and it's mean. It's not. It is. We've all touched the fence ourselves, so we know exactly what it feels like, for one, and also they know well enough. They have usually 1 or 2 run-ins with that fence before they will just avoid it altogether. And you can see when you walk around that there's about a 2 or 3 foot area of grass between the fence and where the pigs will actually walk, because they don't want to go anywhere near it. So they are not getting shocked by it all the time. And like I said, even if they did, it's a really, really minor thing, especially on an animal of their size. They're very dramatic when they get it. Pigs are drama queens.
They definitely react. But the fence,
But, yeah,
if you
very
touch
minor.
the fence, there is a chance that you won't get electrocuted. You won't get a shock because
It's really
it snaps.
minor.
On, off. So every snap is when the electricity charge goes through it. So if they do touch it on the offbeat, they don't get, they don't get shocked.
Yep.
And also with African swine fever, it looks like we are heading in the direction of adding a bottom outside snapping line for wild pigs that may or may not enter the property, and we'll be monitoring that closely. There's been
seen any in
numerous
this area.
sightings of wild pigs, and
Not
as
around
close
here,
as
though, right?
Burlington.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they did have them in
As
Burlington.
close as Burlington. So they're definitely in the area, so we'll be making improvements and letting you know about that as they go along. Well, that's a long.
It is a long one. I was
So
trying to read through this quickly before I read it out
well,
loud.
I will cover something here. I'll cover Andrea's Bear Care Corner. Andrea puts out a couple videos a week and puts out just a plethora of information. And this week's was we pulled from the vault, and it was Andrea talks about pigs and rooting and why they do it. Check out this picture of Captain Dan and his carrot. Oh my gosh, he is so friggin' handsome. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. His big airplane ears. You can see Captain Dan from anywhere, just gleaming white coat. Captain Dan has an amazing personality. You can tell Captain Dan's voice apart from any others. And he's really close with a lot of pigs. He socializes with a lot of groups. He's like
a little social butterfly.
He is a little social butterfly. It's awesome to see him, sleeping with the redheads. And recently, he was spotted with Hercules sleeping, and that was an interesting sight to see. And I think that Hercules is starting to challenge Captain Dan. I think that's Hercules sneaking up and going, hey, I see that you're slowing down, and I am going to make a move. And so it's interesting to see when the residents start to get old. And they're, Captain Dan's doing great, but he doesn't move as fast as the other pigs. So.
And he's been number one since we started the farm. So there's never been another boss hog other than Dan. Well, I guess Leonard was wasn't he? But Dan, for the most part, has been boss hog since we moved here. So that'll be an interesting day. Interesting, I mean sad.
So Jody just put up on the message board, I appreciate Andrea's video talking about avian flu. I've been worried about it. Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you check out that video talking about the protocols that we have in place at the farm to protect Cornelius. Cornelius is on lockdown. He's in the house. He's not allowed to go outside. Outside of our door here, we have a mat that we walk over that cleans our feet before we come into the house so that the house remains a clean space for Cornelius. All the birds are on lockdown, and even we paused our volunteer program while we come up with some protocols of how to do the best that we can to make sure that we don't have avian flu enter the property by means of vehicular access or people's shoes. Also, there's a lot of things that have happened. So make sure you check out that video on avian bird flu. The volunteer program, we just had a meeting about when we can restart, and that'll be starting up, it looks like, towards the end of the week. So we welcome back the volunteers to get them back here and get them doing the things that they love to do. So that's the avian bird flu, and there's the biosecurity measures scare the crap out of me because if the farm has a reportable disease, you get put under quarantine, and it could mean the end to whatever species that is impacted. And even neighboring properties that have, so if the neighbors had I'm not saying our neighbors do have a bird farm, but like there definitely would be a bird farm within 10 kilometers of here, or people that have birds and are raising birds for animal
for non-sanctuary purposes.
Yeah. And if they get a reportable disease, it impacts the farm also. So reportable disease is very scary. And of course, eradication, they call it, is the only option that they give. So we treat that with a lot of importance. So,
They try to find me and Esther. We're out of here. Thank you. This is a question from Tyne Nyman. Thank you for your chat with Bobby Girl and all the information, both sad and happy, about pigs. You appeal to all age groups. I've heard that the bond with a pig can be more profound and closer than even that with a dog or cat, or at least very different. Also, if pigs have to leave their human family, they can grieve so badly they may die. I don't know about these things, but I'm extremely interested. I've only spent short times on farms with farmed animals. Could you talk about these things sometime? Thank you. So, relationship.
Come into there we are. So Bobby Girl, I put up a little half screen. Look, I put up a little photo of Bobby Girl.
Is.
So
Bobby.
you know what we're talking about.
Yes. I want to know about the bond between pigs and their human friends.
So it's different with all the people that, everybody has different relationships with different residents, and I definitely have a strong bond with a lot of the pigs, but Andrea's got quite a strong bond with a lot of a lot of the residents. And if you're around them every single day and you're seeing them every single day, yeah, you're going to establish a bond with them.
And how close that bond gets is it the same as with a dog or a cat? I think there's some truth in that question. That it does become a little bit. It's a different relationship than you would have with your dog or your cat, and I would argue that it could be thought to be an even closer. They seem to bond with you a lot stronger than a dog or a cat. I think.
It's definitely similar. I would say that my bonds with the pigs are greater than. It's just different. I think that like Andrea loves chicken, so I bet you that if we were to quantify her bond, it would be stronger with a chicken than it would be, let's say, than with the pigs.
I think the question is more from the pig's perspective. Right? That a pig, like you've heard stories of a pig being taken from their home and they pass away shortly after. They die of a broken heart and, things like that.
Yeah.
That's, I think, what the story's talking about. Less about what you think and more about how the pigs versus the chickens. And
I went off on a real
tangent. So, I do think pigs get really, really strongly connected with their people, whoever that may be. Like Derek said, he's got a relationship with some pigs in the barn, my relationship with Esther. I do think that they bond very deeply with their chosen person or people, and their herd in general. Like you said, the way that Esther interacts with Cornelius and with Phil is way different than she would with anybody else. Cornelius, I believe, is the only animal or human that can actually eat from Esther's bowl while she's eating, and she'll allow that to happen, whereas Phil can't. I couldn't even. Derek definitely can't. So the way that they bond with their,
I don't think she would let me eat out
their people or their little family is very, very, very deep. Yeah, it's really interesting to watch. Special pigs. Last question from Terry: has Corno ever bitten his crush Steve? Yes.
Yes, he's crushed Steve. Yeah,
he did. I was crushed when it happened. I was horrified.
Yeah.
No, he has. Definitely, he has. Mostly at nighttime. He likes to take his diaper off and does not like when I come to put it on. And at night, it seems anyway that they have a really hard time seeing at night. And so as soon as you go up to Cornelius, if it's dark, or pretty dark anyway in the house, even if there's just a lamp on, he will bite at whatever comes near him. It doesn't matter if it's me or Derek or whoever it is. So I definitely have been smacked by Corno a couple of times. Not as often as he bites other people, thankfully. But yeah, I definitely have, and it's scary. It's kind of like a snake bite, where it doesn't really hurt, but it scares the hell out of you because it happens really quickly.
It's remarkably fast, and
it's very scary
and very precise.
Yeah,
he loves
shiny things or beads.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you're wearing a bracelet like something like that, he just loves. If that goes in his view, he's like, he wants to take it. He shakes it.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he, Corno?
There has been some collateral damage.
He's right here, of course. He's at our feet, watching, showing everybody how handsome he is.
He is right here.
Aren't you handsome, buddy?
Oh my gosh. He has a whole bunch of new diapers. The volunteers have been helping construct new garments, new undergarments for Cornelius, and these are a fine. I think they're all in the wash. Those are all the old ones.
See what was there, though? His little suit and tie.
little business Corno.
Are you so handsome?
Little business Corno. Here's a quick picture that was caught this week of Diablo and George. You can see George. He's definitely got his fluff on, his winter fluff, and that hair will start to shed out from these guys. And by summertime, their coat will be super thin and super short. Similarly to a dog, when they start to shed, they regrow the coat. But there's George and Diablo, and this is probably set up just before they go to bed, because that is their barn that they sleep in at night. And we put those guys on one side, and then all the rest on the other side. Oh my goodness. Steve?
Yes?
We don't have to go outside anymore. I think that was
all. Oh, look, we're out of time.
I think that was
darn.
all part of Steve's
going to get all bundled up again.
It is cold out there. If you're just joining us, it's minus 90 out there.
It is. Oh.
It is so cold. How cold is it?
You're lying to people.
Remember, friends, if you have a question, put it in the comments below, and we'll be sure to answer it next week. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name's Derek.
My name is Steve. Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday. Bye-bye.
See you later.
All we need is a place to be and a few good friends for some company. If you'd like to stay, you don't have to leave. We'll leave the lights on and the door unlocked. If you drop on by, you don't have to knock. We're happy to share whatever we've got.